Hi guys, Jon Watts here from the TruGolf Academy, and you've joined me at Drayton Park Golf Club in my swing studio. Today I want to do a quick video just discussing the difference between these two. So here I've got my 3 hybrid and my 3 iron. I actually carry both of these, and I think you'll see why when we get some numbers on my GC2. I've also got the dots on the club face, so we'll get some HMT data, so head measurement data. So I'll zoom in on that shortly and you'll get the info as to the difference on the attack angle, the launch angle, etc, etc. So we'll be able to look at the difference between the two. So realistically they should be the same thing. Both are trying to replace a 3 iron. I just took a few measurements for these because of course manufacturer to manufacturer, club to club, there is a little changes in there. So the 3 iron from Titleist that I use has got 20 degrees, whereas the hybrid's actually set on 19. So the hybrid's 1 degree stronger in loft. They're both, as I said, designed to replace a 3 iron, but there's also a few other differences, like to do with the length of the golf club. The hybrid is actually 2 inches longer at 40.5 inches than the 3 iron at 38.5. So the stronger loft and longer shaft of the hybrid you're now thinking is actually going to be sending the ball a little bit longer, yet they both say 3 on there and really aimed at the market replacing 3 irons. I carry them both because for me, and you'll see with the data, that hybrid definitely does go longer. It's also got a lighter shaft, so graphite shafts generally in your hybrid clubs, so this is 82 grams, whereas the shaft I've got in the 3 iron here, the Dynamic Gold S300, is about 125 grams, so there's a big difference in weight. I measured overall weight, and the hybrid is about 35 grams lighter, but actually has a slightly heavier swing weight. So it's D5 instead of D3. So it's 2 swing weights heavier, which is just that I'll feel a little bit more weight in the head, and a lot of that is to do with the lighter shaft. I've actually got the same grip on, but the lighter shaft I'm feeling a little bit more weight in the head of the hybrid. So as I said, both say 3 on them, both designed to replace 3 irons, but when we look at the difference between them, we've got a longer shaft, a lighter shaft, a slightly heavier swing weight, and 1 degree less loft on that SLDR. I've set it first to hit the 3 irons, so it's a driving iron effectively. They just make it a little easier. It's the 712U. There have been or are some newer versions of that now. It's just one that I carry in the bag that for me is a little bit more forgiving than carrying a 3 iron. But doesn't go as far as my hybrid. So we're going to just quickly hit a couple. So we've got the data to show you there. That was sounded pretty solid to me. Flight was very good, very straight. So that flew 200 yards to finish at 223, which is what I use this for. I know it flies about 200, I know it finishes about 220, maybe a little bit more if it's rolling, maybe 230, 235, but it depends on the conditions. I'll just hit one more of those. A little lower, still not far off target, just a fraction lower out of the club face, and we'll see that with the HMT data. Very, very similar. It flew 3 yards shorter at 197. It finished at 222, so it's 1 yard shorter than the last one. It was a slightly lower ball flight, hence slightly lower launch angle, less carry, more roll. But I think that's fine. Pretty similar data in terms of where they're finishing. So excuse me while I dot out of shot, but I'm just going to click on here, change over to the SLDR 3 hybrid, which remember is 19 degree, so it's 1 degree less loft. It's 2 inches longer in shaft. Length, it's a little lighter, or quite a bit lighter in shaft weight. And that's meaning I've actually got a little bit more swing weight, so actually there's a bit more weight feeling in the head at D5 rather than D3. So I'll just try and hit a couple with this one. Not bad, a slightly high, slightly toey, it felt like, but Not bad flight actually. So that carried 227 to finish at 249. So it's a good 20 yards longer than the 3 driving iron. So I'll just hit one more of those. So as I said, I carry this to really sit one down from my 3-wood. So I've got a slightly strong lofted 3-wood at 14 degree. Then I've got my SLDR 19 degree hybrid, which is a 3, and my 3 iron, but they do very different things. So a good 20 yards difference between them. One more of those. Got that one moving a little bit more left of target. It was okay, just bent a bit more, but similar distance. That one flew 221 to finish at 245. So that is, as an average, 26 yards longer through the air than my 3 iron. So my recommendation to you really is either do something similar to what I'm doing, and you can actually carry the 2 of them, they're doing a different job, or if you are trying to replace a 3 iron, the 3 driving iron should do that job for you. Will give you a slightly flatter, slightly lower ball flight, not quite as forgiving as the hybrid, but if you do want that extra height, that extra forgiveness from the hybrid, but you're looking for it to replace a 3 iron, you're probably going to need to actually buy the 4, which is what I'm just going to hit. So I've got one more club to hit for you, which is the M1 4 hybrid, which is actually 21 degree. I think I'm going to need to increase that loft even a little bit higher to do the job that I want it to do if it was replacing a 3 iron for me. So this is now similar weight and similar weight to shaft to what I've got in my hybrid, but it's a 21 degree, whereas my hybrid was 19. And if you remember, the Titleist driving iron was or is 20 degree. So this is now just a fraction more loft. So just got one more club to hit for you, just so you can see the data difference. Okay, so this one's going to be showing a white tail. You'll see the flight of it compared to the first 2. So the Titleist driving iron were the blue ones. The yellow ones were my SLDR hybrid that I carry. I guess is more like a 2 iron, 1 iron really for me. So this is a bit shorter in shaft length than mine, and 2 degrees more loft, so 21 degree. So that felt pretty solid again, and that's gone somewhere between the 2, so 218 carry to finish, or 217 it's now come up, recorrected itself, to finish 237. So really, if I wanted to replace the 3 iron, and I'm looking at, do I carry the driving iron or do I carry the hybrid? If you do go down the hybrid route and it's a longer shaft and it's a lighter shaft, you are going to need more loft on it. This is the 4, which is 21 degrees. It's still quite strong lofted for a 4. I think I'd need to take that all the way to about 23 degree to do a similar job to what that 20 degree driving iron's doing. So there is a definite difference. What you will get away with is missed strikes, I feel, a little bit more with these hybrid clubs. They've just got that weight set a little bit further back and a little lower away from the face, slightly higher moment of inertia, so the club isn't twisting as much on an off-centre strike. As I said, I carry both in there. I carry the 3 driving iron to replace the 3 iron for me, a little easier to use, and then I carry that hybrid club. And although it says 3 on it, it's really doing the job of more like a 2 or a 1. So it's really trying to fill that gap between the 3 iron and the 3 wood. It's not quite as simple as just running out there and grabbing something that's a 3. You've got to think perhaps a little bit more about the length and the weight of the shaft and what distance that's going to do. It really helps if we can get some exact data like we've got here from the GC2 and the HMT monitors from Foresight Sport. I hope that's helped.